Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is me, Renee the Diva, here with Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast where we come live. We kind of talk about what's going on in our state, in our country, and all around things that help you and help me. So let's talk about it, shall we? Let's shall. So before we get started, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. Definitely want to give a shout out to Mr. Kenneth Brown of KB Renaissance and SADM. Definitely want to give a shout out to our guests who will be here in a little while, Yiser Media and also Legacy Collection. So thank you to all of our sponsors. If you are interested in sponsoring this podcast or being a guest on our show, please feel free to reach out. You can do so by email at legacyentstudios@gmail.com. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's talk about it. So people are having mixed emotions about the results of the presidential election. What I will say to that is this: it wasn't just the president that was nominated. He is building his cabinet. And if you are not paying attention to some of the people that he is selecting, you may want to start. Again, I will never tell you who to vote for. Hopefully, you did vote. But we are now all going to have to deal with the ramifications of whomever would have won the presidency. So I stay in prayers always for our country. In sports, it's a lot of stuff going on in sports right now. So I'm going to get to the sports, okay? So the Jets did fire their general manager, Mr. Joe Douglas, citing a woeful season. They played our Indianapolis Colts on Sunday, and the Colts won. Thank you. But one of their major players, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, is very much speaking out, saying that, there's a lot going on with the Jets that maybe we don't even see behind the scenes. So I'm sure that also has something to do with it. So while owner Woody Johnson is searching for a replacement, he has made Savage the interim general manager. So hopefully the Jets will get it together. We're praying for them as well. Did you know that there is such a thing as the Trump dance? Well, apparently there is such a thing, and the NFL is actually saying that they have no issue after several members of the NFL have done this dance. It started with members of the 49ers defense in Nick Baza doing that. I'm sorry, I might have pronounced his name wrong. To celebrate sacking Baker Mayfield. Other participants have been Raiders tight end Brock Bowers, Titans receivers Calvin Ridley and Nick Westbrook Inking. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. And then also Lions Zadarius Smith and Malcolm Rodriguez. So the NFL rules state specifically players are allowed to celebrate as long as they are not excessive and it doesn't feature violent or sexually suggestive acts. Players are not allowed to wear printed hats or clothing that promote political opinions. And Baza was fined $11,255 for wearing a Make America Great Again hat on the field after a game. Per the NFL, the Trump dance is not considered a political statement by the league. So I'm sure there's going to be more that falls out behind this. We'll stay tuned. The Indianapolis Colts have made Anthony Richardson their starting quarterback yet again, saying that, Flacco's play has been lackluster, I guess you can say. And they also stated that Anthony Richardson has learned his lesson. So I'm not quite sure what lesson they were hoping to teach Anthony Richardson by putting him on the bench, but apparently they feel like he's learned it. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm always going to support my Colts. It's my home team, of course, the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever. So I'm always going to support. In other NBA news, Maxey has called out his teammate, Joel Embiid, saying that he's late for everything. So there's apparently some brewing going on behind the scenes there, and we definitely hope they get it together as well, because eventually it will start to affect their play if you feel like it hasn't already done so. Injuries are also plaguing teams in the NBA amid trade talks and also the upcoming 2025 NBA draft. Will their favorite players land where you want them to land? Let's just pay attention to that as well. Hopefully they will. Right now, the Cavs are still ranked number 1 in week 5 of the NBA. Lastly, if you are just joining, make sure you're like, sharing, following RenaeThaDiva, RenaeThaDiva, on all social media, as well as Legacy Entertainment Studios and Yizer TV, Yizer News Media. Okay. Lastly, here on this session, I will talk about entertainment and things to do. So if you know me, you know the fall is actually one of my favorite times of the year. I'm a summer baby, so summer is like my ultimate favorite, right? But I get excited about this time of the year because I think people's characters truly do show. So a lot of people are more giving this time of the year. They're more warm, more welcoming. They greet each other more with smiles, things that we need to do throughout the year, no matter what time of the year it is. So we here in Indiana will be hosting our Christmas Nights of Lights at the Indiana State Fairgrounds that did open this past weekend. You can pay by the carload, which is something a little bit different. They had got to charging per person in the car. So I'm glad that they did change that. The leaves are falling. So the Indy Parks Department is encouraging you to get outside, Hoosiers, and enjoy some of the outside activities. Again, fall has been unseasonably warm, knock on wood somewhere, because, here in Indiana, it might be snowing tomorrow. You just never know. But they are encouraging you to get outside, enjoy the scenery. The leaves are changing colors and falling. Beautiful sceneries for sure. Enjoy nature. The Polar Express train ride is another option for you. And then the Indianapolis Children's Museum is hosting an array of family-friendly holiday events. So make sure you're taking part. So without further ado, I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'm going to introduce tonight's guest. His name is Dwayne Abernathy. And Mr. Dwayne Abernathy is the host of Yizer TV. He's actually with Yizer, the only news network for entrepreneurs. So you can actually go to code CODE 1035.com and follow his movement. And I'll place that here in our ticker as well. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome Dwayne to the stage. Good, Dwayne. How are you? Here, I don't think he heard me yet. Good evening, Dwayne. How are you?
Yo, what's up, Miss Renee? How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes. How are you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can now. Yes. Yes. How are you? How are you? Can you hear me? Yes. Yes.
Hold on for a second. Hold on.
Okay. Can you hear me? So while Dwayne is getting back together, getting his technical difficulties, if you're just joining us, this is talk about host RenaeThaDiva, myself, where we talk about things going on. We have special guests each week. We actually try to bring you things that are going on around our cities, our nation, and things that are relevant to you and me in everyday life. So tonight we do have host Dwayne Abernathy with Yizer, which is the only news network for entrepreneurs. You can go and follow the news network at code CODE 1035.com. So make sure you go out there and you follow code 1035.com. You also can see the features of Yizer TV on Legacy Entertainment Studios page. They're on Facebook as well. So how are you, Mr. Dwayne? Can you hear me now? I still don't think he can hear me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just a delay.
Okay. I'm not quite sure why there's a delay, but it's okay. We'll get through it. How are you this evening?
Yeah, hold on. I can't hear you through the studio. I could just hear you through the. I'm fine. I'm doing good. So I'm trying to fix it so I can hear you where it's not a delay.
Okay. Take your time.
I'm listening to you here, but I can't hear you when you talking through the. I can't hear you through the studio.
Gotcha.
Hello? Can you hear
I'm
me?
here. Yes. Is there still a delay?
All right. No.
Good stuff. So we were good to go. I don't know if you heard your intro or not, but I did introduce you. This is Mr. Dwayne Abernathy with Yizer, and it is the only news network for entrepreneurs. I did give them the website where you can go to code1035.com.
Yep. So code1095.com, like the old police, like the police just like code 1035 or 185. So it's a police code. So
okay.
That's how I said. Yeah. So it's code1035.com. Yep.
I did not know that. That's very interesting. Okay. So tell us about you and Yizer and what Yizer is and how it even came about.
Really? I don't know if you got time for all of that. So
go for it. We're on social media. I mean, we can talk however long we want to talk.
I'll give you the short version long. No, pretty much though, Yizer pretty much 2007, I had like a vision that came to me and said, this is your mission. And I wrote the letters YIZZOR. Didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how to spell it, say it, nothing. Just like, how you get sent like a vision, but
right.
you don't, it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So at the time, I didn't even know what a Yizer was. I just wrote down YIZZOR and went on about my day. Like, all right, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's supposed to do. So that was in 2007. Well, what ended up happening, I started, remember Yahoo.com?
Right.
Now, see, I come from the tech industry, so I've been in the tech industry, since since 1989, and so I've been. Like I said, it's a long ass story. You sure you got time?
It's good. It's all good.
Okay. So I've been in the tech industry and everything like that or whatever. So when the Yahoo thing came in, I was like, Yai. That's why I started to say Yizer. So if you see Yizer, it's spelled lowercase y and a big I. So Yizer. So I was like sounding it out, like trying to figure out how to read. So it came to me Yizer. So that's where the name came from. And then also we used to say in our neighborhood growing up, we say, yes, sir. Like it was like a hip hop thing. So that's where Yizer came. Long story. Okay. So once that happened, I'm fast forwarding, it became an acronym. And you can see all this stuff on YizerTV.com. All this stuff is documented. Long story short, Yizer came to me or whatever, and it developed into a program and our system that pretty much is a lifestyle, a Yizer lifestyle that pretty much teaches and talks about entrepreneurship and upper mobility.
Okay.
So to see all that other stuff I was about to tell you, just go to YizerTV.com. It's all on there. Like I said, this story started back in 1976. We're going into 2025. So that's why I said I don't want to take up the whole interview going through that. If you want to check it out. But long story short, here at Yizer, we are the first entrepreneur television network and radio. Because growing up as an entrepreneur and in tech, there was no resources. I used to have a bunch of great ideas, but could never make any money from them. And the reason why I could never make any money from some of these great ideas, because there really was no teachings for entrepreneurs. You watch Bloomberg, you watch Fox Business, you watch all of this type of business stuff. They just talk about business, but they're not talking about the entrepreneur. They'll talk about the entrepreneur like a Mark Zuckerberg or somebody like that after they made billions, but they weren't entrepreneurs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I watch people podcasts and all this type of stuff. So like, okay, Yizer News, the Yizer platform, the whole 9 yards is to help entrepreneurs make a living from taking an idea and making a living from it versus taking 50 years or taking people's money or getting investments and getting ripped off and stuff like that, because I also come from the entertainment world too. And so when you take the technology world the entertainment world and media and put a financial structure behind it, and that's how you're able to make a lifestyle and living for yourself. And so that's where Yizer comes into play. That's why it's an entrepreneur, but it's only for people who think and are entrepreneurs. It's not anybody who's like a regular, oh my God, I can't survive, or oh my God, the man's on my back, or they're not going to understand Yizer. It's only entrepreneurs will understand it. Like somebody who, like, you know what, man, I'm sleeping in my truck right now, but I know that this thing is going to pop off, and they do it and it pops off, and then they're not sleeping in their truck anymore. That's who Yizer's for. And it's and like when I watch people on YouTube and all that stuff or whatever, those guys started YouTube were entrepreneurs.
Right.
That's the type of stuff in media you're going to see on Yizer. You're going to see stuff about the guys who created YouTube. You're not going to see on Yizer, I want to be on YouTube to get a bunch of likes and all that stuff. You're not going to get that type of media on Yizer. So that's why it's strictly for entrepreneurs. Damn, okay. I thought I went off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I love it. It just shows your passion for what you do. And I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. So tell me more about your background. I know you mentioned that you are a techie, as the young people call it.
Yeah.
What else makes up your background? Is there a military background? I know you said we can go to RenaeThaDiva.com, and I definitely encourage people to do that for sure. But just in conversation with you, I see the Navy hat. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about that part.
joined the United States Navy. I'm a United States Navy vet. When I decided to go to the military, I decided to go to the military when I was what was a sophomore? Yeah, like a sophomore, junior in high school.
Okay.
Because I was from Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised. But the thing is, when I was a kid in the summertime, I used to travel. Me and my great grandma would travel all over the United States. We would just go to different cities. So I was learn different cultures. So when I used to come home to Indianapolis, back when I grew up in Indianapolis, it was just blah. It's like it was no culture. In Indianapolis, it was just like it was no culture type of thing. You see what I'm saying? And so my thing is like, yo, I would come back to Indianapolis, but it'd be like I'd be in a time zone. Like I would go, say for instance, I'd go to New York, right? And like in the 80s or whatever, and I'm seeing hip hop and I'm seeing the Fat Laces, and I'm seeing, I'm coming back with cassette tapes of, rappers before they was popular, like the Run DMC and stuff like that. Then I bring that stuff back to Indianapolis, and they be looking at me like, what is that? And I'd be like, what do you mean? This is what's going on in New York. And so I would always get rejected in Indianapolis. Like they would tell me like, get out of here with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to the Navy. I'm trying to tell you, long story quick. So I ended up like, so at that point I was like, yo, how I end up in the Navy was I started hanging out up at Ball State. That's what says a crazy ass story. So I'm hanging out at Ball State with the Sigmas, right? Mm-hmm. And we used to hang out. So we used to party, and we used to leave Indianapolis like I was going to Warren Central. We would drive from Warren Central to Muncie to party. Then we would leave there and go to Indiana State and party. Then come back to Indianapolis and go to school the next day. Right? So yeah.
When we were in our teens, we could do that. Yeah. We could do that when we were younger.
Yeah, and so we was doing it like the Sigmas. Like my buddy Sean Murray's brother was a brother frat in Indiana State, Robbie Murray. And so
I know Robbie.
we used to do this, but we were in high school, so people thought that we went to Ball State, but we were still in high school. When that was going on, I was like, there's no way possible I can go to college because I'm gonna blow through my parents' money. That's how I ended up in the military. because I was in the party. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to survive college with my mentality, because all we did was party, right? So I was like, yo, so I'm gonna go to the Air Force. I go take the test for the Air Force, but I was like, I want to do something specific. I don't want to just go to the military without knowing what I'm doing. I want to be an engineer and I want to be in electronics. And the Air Force was like, no, just take the test. Just take the test. I take the test. I get my scores back. I score any job I wanted. So then I get the score, and then I go, all right, we'll put it in writing. And that's like, oh, we can't put it in writing. So I'll go right across the hall to the Navy. So I go, yo, here's my ASVAB scores. This is what I want to do. I need it in writing, or I'm not going nowhere. And they was like, oh, we can put it in writing. I was like, oh, if you can put it in writing, I would join the Navy right now today. And I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, right? And so they signed the paperwork. And so that's how I ended up in the Navy. So then my whole senior year, into my second half of my junior year, my senior year, I was training for boot camp. Like, we used to go to this naval, they used to have this naval place here in Indianapolis. I think it's a high school now. We was like in the Navy Reserves, but still in high school for certain students. And so we would go there and train. They would teach us how, like, if the ship was on fire, they would have us in a fucking, can I cuss? My bad. Sorry.
You probably gonna get us banned. It's okay. It's all good. Go ahead.
Oh. They would have us in a room, and the water would come up like you about to drown, and we would have to patch the flooding ship right there at the naval place in Indianapolis. So that's how I end up in the Navy, and then the rest is history, I guess, or just go check it out on Yizer.
So what brought you back here to Indy?
The blood sacrifice. I got married. And I was playing. Sorry. Oops.
I'm pleading the fifth, like one man from the fifth floor.
Wow. Yeah, I got married, came to Indianapolis, but I was still in Atlanta. By this time, I was in Atlanta because I moved to Atlanta in '96. I got married, and it just, and it is what it is. And then I realized when I got here, I was like, yo, Indianapolis will start looking like Atlanta did back in 1996.
Right.
It's growing. There's money in the city of Indianapolis right now if you know where the money's coming from and how to get the money.
Right.
I did the same thing back in 1996. You go check my record. In 1996, my company is one of the companies that built all the infrastructure for like a Dish Network down in Atlanta. We did you ever been to Papados in Atlanta?
Yes.
You ever been to Papados? That's our first project in Atlanta. I did the electrical in Papados, and next to it, the Drury Inn Hotel up with Jimmy Carter. I did that also in 1996. Me, Dwayne Abernathy, did that Papados on Jimmy Carter and that Drury Inn Hotel. That's the very first contracts that my company did in Atlanta. And awesome. we must have did a good job because the shit's still there. So anyway,
that part.
Yeah. And so what happened, I just saw the technology and all the stuff coming out, and I was just like, Indianapolis is like, it's a perfect city. It's building. Like, if you go to Indianapolis, there's a lot of people not understanding why they putting that red line, that purple line bus terminal in and stuff like that, because Indianapolis is preparing to be an international city. And most international cities, people ain't driving. People catch public transportation. If I'm coming in from Paris, France, or somewhere, I'm not trying to fucking drive around no city. I'm gonna get on public transportation that's safe and take me directly to where I gotta go. And that's what's happening in Indianapolis. If you drive down College in Indianapolis and just look at the skyline of the city of Indianapolis growing, go to Broad Ripple, look at the skyline, it's growing. Look at the city of Indianapolis is preparing to be an international city, and the people of Indianapolis who are not getting in on it, you better get in or you're going to get left out and you're going to get pushed out. So that's why I'm still here in Indianapolis. So that's how I got back here, because I got married, got divorced, and then realized, yo, Indianapolis is a gold mine.
Right. For sure. I mean, let me just pause and say, this is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast with myself, host RenaeThaDiva. I do have with me live tonight's special guest, Mr. Dwayne Abernathy of Yizer, which is known as the only news network for entrepreneurs. I do have his information strolling at the bottom of the banner, but you also can go to YizerTV.com and see his full history. So we are live on StreamYard. We're on Yizer. We're on TikTok on my side. We're on Instagram on my side. And I'm sure we're live on all your social medias as well. I have put out there how to get in contact with you, but let's get into some more of Yizer and yourself, the founder of Yizer, and how you even came about. So I know of these things, but I want you to explain to the public how you even kind of got into entertainment and then decided to, again, form Yizer. You kind of explained a little bit about that and how you were given the vision for Yizer, or the name for the network. Explain a little bit more about the entertainment background as well for me.
Well, the entertainment background it started out in Indianapolis. I used to be a part of and associated with a group called Talk of the Town in Indianapolis. They used to do this thing called Star Quest, I think, in Indianapolis, and they used to. Yep. And they used to win all the time. And I used to be like the choreograph dude to help them dance, because them dudes couldn't dance and nothing like that, but they was talented, right? And and they used to win all the time or whatever. Then so one year they was in the finals for the thing at the Black Expo, Talent Quest, whatever, right? And the lead, the member, Mike Thomas, DeLance Thomas, he was the head of the band. He like, we gotta do Prince Kiss. It was like, no, we can't do no damn Prince at the Black Expo in Indianapolis. We're going to fucking lose, right? And he kept on saying, we gotta do Prince. We gotta do Prince. He loved Prince or whatever, right? And of course we lost. We lost to some dude that sung a Sherelle song. So anyway, long story short, at that point, I was like, yo, I like this. I like the entertainment business side. I like the behind the scenes and being part of the production side. I didn't necessarily want to be on stage. I didn't want to be behind the scenes. And so when it ended up happening, used to DJ, start doing some DJ stuff or whatever. Got spoiled with DJing because I learned early in the game, go corporate, don't go house parties, stuff like that. Corporate pay $1,000 for a 2-hour gig, and you was just pushing play. We talking about back in the early 90s or early 80s. I learned that game. Like the mixing and the scratching and all that stuff, that was for fun, stuff like that. But to get money in the entertainment business, I went to where the money was. I wasn't necessarily trying to be the talent. In the process of that happening, I started meeting managers, record executives, stuff like that. I was learning how to run the entertainment business versus being a talent in the entertainment business. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I started meeting people like that or whatever. So then my buddy Aaron, they got signed Def Jam Records. Believe it or not, there's a group, an R&B group called Dose of Soul from Indianapolis, Indiana. I believe that they're the only group from Indianapolis, Indiana that's ever signed the Def Jam Records.
I want to say, I think
Dose of Soul.
I know.
They was on the Nutty Professor. So look at it. Yeah, they was on the Nutty Professor soundtrack with Case. When all that stuff happened, Dose of Soul, some dudes from Indianapolis right there. So when all that stuff happened, I was there behind the scenes stuff because me and their manager was real cool and stuff like that. So I've always been behind the scenes of stuff that goes in the entertainment business. You see what I'm saying? So like, say for instance, I don't know if you guys know, I learned all this stuff because we used to go to the Jack the Rapper conventions and all that type of stuff. And we used to go to these meetings and they would teach us how to run the entertainment business. Versus, I was like, I don't want to be the rapper. I don't want to be a rapper. I don't want to be a producer. I want to know how to run and make money from the entertainment business, right?
Right.
And so I throughout my life in the entertainment business, I've always been connected to the money. Like, come up with the concept. Like, say for instance, you in the studio with somebody and you can tell somebody, oh, you know what? The concept of this song is blah, 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 blah. And you get paid for that.
Right.
Like,
right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So back in the day, like,
creative, yeah.
Huh?
Your creative genius, basically. Yeah. Your creative
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about the genius part. All I know is I knew how to hustle, I knew how to grind, and I was good, and I knew numbers. So my whole thing is certain things just didn't add up to me. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, well, why the hell would I sit up there and constantly do something over and over and over again and don't reap the and get the reward back or understand, simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. So make me understand the concept of why do I need a record label or anything like that for me to make money in an entertainment business when there's so much shit to make money from. Find something that you're good at, and that's what you do, and just direct it to the entertainment business.
Right.
So
right.
by me learning that and these classes that I was taking, and then also I got accepted to the audio engineering school up in New York. And when I was at my orientation, I'm sitting in the guidance counselor's office with my guidance counselor and a dude from the rap group. There used to be a rap group called Lords of the Underground, right? Mm-hmm. All three of us are sitting in the office. My counselor says to me, so man, why you want to go to this school for? Like that, right? Was he looked at your numbers and stuff, why you want to go to school? So I'm like, because I want to, really like solidify my position in the entertainment industry. So now mind you, this is my guidance counselor. The guidance counselor is supposed to get students in, not send students out. So he's like, nah, bro. He's like, the dude from the Lords of the Underground said, dude, in the entertainment business, bro, it's all about, he said, you about to pay these people like $30,000. He said, dude, all them books you about to buy, you can go buy them at the bookstore. He said, the only thing they're gonna do is teach you theory. He said, the way you making the entertainment business, man, you gotta get your brand together. You gotta choose your lane and be a master of what you're doing. And then have some talent. The talent is the last part of the whole thing to survive in the entertainment business. So when they told me that, I was like, oh, I got it. I said, technology is how I'm gonna do this thing. And so from that point on, I just applied everything that I know about entertainment business, and I just applied it in the technology side. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I had like a lot of clients. Like in Atlanta, my company was called the Hip Hop Phone Shop because a lot of my clients were the celebrities. Like, say for instance, like when they come and set up like when the record label, not the rapper, when the record label come and set up an office in Atlanta, they would call my company and we would set up their office. Like, we put in all the phone system, the voicemail system, all that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we would do a celebrity from here and there. Like, I remember like when Left Eye was living, one of my technicians broke a fucking glass table in her house. I had to pay for that shit. But
ooh, ouch.
but yeah, so we've done a lot of stuff, and then we moved over into the movie industry, like in the TV industry. So like say for instance, like my company in Atlanta, we did Barbershop 3. We did you remember the TV show Sleepy Hollow?
Yes.
We did Sleepy Hollow. We did Vampire Diaries. We set up all the production for all those TV shows down in Atlanta. We just did that just a few years ago. I just stepped away from it since I came to Indianapolis when I took the blood oath and got married.
I'm not. Okay. If you were just joining us, this is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast with myself, host RenaeThaDiva. We do have live with us tonight, Mr. Dwayne Abernathy. We are kind of going over his passion, his vision, his creative property. That was the word I was thinking about. Shout out to my brother Gregory Merriweather, who actually encourages me all the time to make sure that I am protecting my creative property. So thank you, Gregory, for that. So if you are just joining us, make sure you are looking at the bottom at the banner. I do have the website for the news channel for Yizer. You can go to code1035.com. You also can go to yizertv.com or yizerradio.com. So we are again with Mastermind, Mr. Dwayne Abernathy. He is kind of telling us how he even came up with the vision of Yizer, a little bit about his background. He is here now in Indianapolis, Indiana. But you were also in Atlanta, as you mentioned. And where else is Yizer?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Well,
there you go.
Well, Yizer, actually, we have the deal for 38 markets right now. So okay. Yizer, like, of course, for starters, hold on. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. Yizer is on the internet, so we're worldwide. And we broadcast news, everything worldwide. We're having physical Yizer locations in 38 markets. Okay. So right now we have a physical Yizer in Atlanta, Indianapolis. We just opened up Indianapolis Veterans Day weekend, and we're building and working on the one in Austin, Texas now. And hopefully the one in Austin, Texas will be up by May of 2025. Awesome. But we have the deal, and we have a list of all the cities that we're going to be in physically. So when we say physically, so what we're doing here at Yizer is, let me explain something real quick. Technology doesn't go bad.
Right.
Now, I come from the financial side background of technology in the entertainment world. So what I'm showing people at Yizer is that just because they decided that they don't want to make money from something anymore doesn't mean you can't make money from it anymore. Like, people don't, like, I ran into some artists about 3 years ago. Excuse me. I'm sorry for burping. I'm drinking my water. Right. So I was moving all the old equipment from Atlanta to Indianapolis. And so we had the old stuff on the record label from Atlanta, and we had a bunch of the CD tower. You know, the CD towers that used to burn CDs? Right. Burn CDs or whatever, right? All this stuff worked. Everything worked, right? The thing is, we were focusing on streaming. So I ran into these young brothers who want to be rappers. And I was explaining to them, this shit right here worked, dog. I got cases of CDs in the back. You can have all of this shit for free. Burn you some CDs and sell them for $10. Right. You only need 6,716 people in the whole wide world to buy a $10 CD. Everybody's not streaming. Technology don't go bad. So they leaving hundreds, if not millions of dollars on the table in the entertainment industry. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Just because everybody's streaming, that don't mean you stop making money. The CD players still work. You can still buy blank CDs, all that.
Do you feel like the entertainment industry has gotten, I call it the microwave society. Everybody wants everything like right now. That may be considered more of the boots on the ground kind of hard work that, you know, you and I both are used to. Where do you feel like the entertainment industry has gone wrong with that?
The entertainment industry went wrong because they didn't want to keep up with the times. So what ended up happening, they allowed the technology to overtake the content. It's like they just throw it away. Like, somebody take a year to make a CD. Oh, listen to it one time, just throw this shit away, just delete it. No, that's somebody's hard work and effort that they made those projects. And so where the entertainment industry went wrong is they got dissolved. So let me rephrase what I'm saying. The old dinosaurs from the entertainment industry got dissolved because they didn't want to keep up with the time, so they got pushed out the way. They got pushed to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because soon as the internet hit, Netflix proved that. Netflix proved that with Blockbuster. See, Blockbuster was so busy trying to keep up with the internet. You got to understand something. Technology takes 30 years to develop before it becomes profitable, before you start making money. So you never fucking get involved with technology early in the game if you not one of the people who's up there with the billions playing that game. If you a person who's just running your business or you trying to be in the entertainment business, you do not try to keep up with them. That you do what you do and make the money for what's practical. Like, so what I'm saying is this: Netflix, Blockbuster. Mm-hmm. Blockbuster tried to keep up with Netflix in the streaming game versus, we can just still focus on CDs. CDs and DVDs did not go away.
Right.
They didn't go away. Only thing they had to do is just change their business model, and Blockbuster will still be open today if they did not try to keep up with Netflix. So,
agreed. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the entertainment business lost their way when they tried to keep up with the technology that wasn't fully developed yet. And so the guys who's out there who's in the music business or whatever, people still will buy a CD. Everybody's not streaming, especially if you want to make a living from an entertainment business. Same thing with movies. With everything, like, say, for instance, people put their movies on YouTube. For the life of me, I still ain't figured that out. That makes no sense to me to put a movie that you made and just set it on YouTube and think that you're going to get monetized from YouTube.
If you are just joining us, this is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast with myself, host RenaeThaDiva. We do have live with us Mr. Dwayne Abernathy of Yizer Media, because it's also not only news, it is a TV station and a radio station, all streaming online live. So tell us about your veteran fundraisers that you do, about things that you try to do to help veterans.
Oh yeah, our main sponsor is the Legacy Honor Bricks, and what we do, we have a program for veterans because there's a high number of vets that's been sexually assaulted in the military. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it's big. Believe it or not, it's like cats be getting raped in the military. We talking about males and females.
Right.
So we have a program, Veterans Against Sexual Assault. We have another program called Veterans Behind the Wall program that helps veterans that's having legal issues or, that's behind the wall or just coming home, transitioning into, back from jail. We have the Veterans Fathers' Rights program. And I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, yeah, we have the Veterans Entrepreneur program. And all this stuff is sponsored by our sponsor, Legacy Honor Bricks. And so what happens is the purchase of a Legacy Honor Brick, proceeds from those Legacy Honor Bricks goes to fund these different programs for our veterans. And in order to get those, you can go to shopyizer.com. That's shopyizer.com. That's YIZZOR. So that's our veteran organizations.
I'm actually going to type
and we got a veteran bike. And we also have a veteran bike ride, a fundraiser coming up August 14th, 2025 in Indianapolis, Indiana on the Mo9 Trail.
Awesome. You're going to make me break out a 10-speed somewhere. I'm going to have to find me a different seat now because, now that I'm a little older, I need my comfort. I do. Mm-hmm.
You need a banana seat.
Can't
Remember the banana seats back in the day?
Yes. Now, I will say, back in the day, those were the joints. Those were the joints because, you were doing something if you had a banana seat because you could still trail somebody or be trailed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That part. So again, if you are just joining us, we are live with Mr. Dwayne Abernathy of Yizer Media. We are discussing I did put it in. I'm going to actually show it now. He does have a program where he actually does fundraisers for veterans, and you can actually go there to shopyizer.com if you're interested in participating in his fundraiser. We also definitely encourage you to like, share, follow YizerTV.com, YizerRadio.com, and go to code1035.com for Yizer News. Did I get all of those right? Yay!
I think so. We're gonna find out.
that part. So we also ask you to follow and like and share RenaeThaDiva, which is RenaeThaDiva, which is me, your hostess with the mostest, and also Legacy Entertainment Studio. So thank you, Dwayne, for joining us. I have thoroughly enjoyed you. I look forward to all the things that Yizer is going to do. In case you did not know, let's talk about it. We'll be going, or myself as a host, will be going to Yizer Media in January-ish. And I will actually be doing a show called Vision Quest with Mr. Dwayne Abernathy there. So I'm excited about that. We just made the official announcement. Go figure.
Yes.
So I will say thank you again for joining. We will sign out for now. Make sure you tune in next week for another special guest. Follow, like, share, comment. And for those of you who have been commenting, thank you. I could not see them while we were on, but we will definitely respond to you after the show is over. Go ahead.
President, where you get this raging idiot from?
Not at all. Whatever. You're just very passionate about what you do, and that's to be commended and appreciated. I think even kind of like what you were talking about with, the military and things that are not discussed necessarily. I thank you for bringing that to the forefront, because as a mom of a military veteran myself, I'm sure there are some things that happened in his journey in the military that, of course, he won't discuss with me, or anyone. And people don't realize when our soldiers come home, whether they're male or female, they all suffer from some form of PTSD. And you are seeing some very traumatic things go on in your journey in the military. I don't care what level you're at in it. So definitely, go ahead.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something about the Navy real quick?
Of course.
One time I was sitting, one of my buddies was sitting out here, just came home from federal prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a conversation. And so I'm listening to him talk. And I was like, damn, that shit sounds like the Navy. Like, we were sitting out comparing how much similar federal prison is to the United States Navy. It was almost like a carbon copy of each other. It's like, and I started doing some research, and I did not realize that when I was in there, we used to wear these things called dungarees, which was the bell-bottom blue jean thing.
Yes.
It used to be the exact same uniform as the federal prison.
Oh my goodness. Now I did not know that, but it makes sense. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, I got those type of Navy stories to tell.
That part. So make sure you're tuning in to code1035.com, YizerTV.com, and YizerRadio.com for more of the interesting military tales from Mr. Dwayne Abernathy. Now, what kind of other shows will you have on your media platforms?
Well, see, you're going to take me there. Okay. I ain't going to go there tonight, but I'm going to go there.
I did.
I was trying. Yizer has 22 TV channels. This is a complete network. So imagine Viacom. If for the people who don't know who Viacom is a company that owns Paramount Pictures, BET, MTV, VH1, Comedy Central. They own like majority of what you see on mainstream TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yizer is a streaming platform just like Viacom, but it's all original content or all original channels, the whole 9 yards. So we have 22 channels on Yizer, and Yizer is available for streaming, and Yizer is also available for home. The difference between Yizer and the other platform is this. We teach upper mobility at Yizer. So all the content and all the media on Yizer is coming from the perspective of entrepreneurs. So on Yizer, you're going to see media about how do you go from working at McDonald's making $3.50 an hour to going to get a career and getting an education and making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 an hour to starting a business. To, you see what I'm saying? So
right.
That's the difference between Yizer. Yizer teaches entrepreneurship with entertainment and come mixed in it, fused with it.
For sure, so, for sure. And that's definitely to be appreciated. I think, born and raised here in Indiana or Indianapolis myself, and living outside of here, I think you almost have to live outside of here for some period of time to even realize how we need to actually even come back and help our people here. A lot of things with the entrepreneurial world, Indiana or Indianapolis can be a little bit behind, but I'm glad to see where we're going. As you mentioned earlier, this year in 2024, Indianapolis has hosted more events than we have ever hosted. I attribute that to, our downtown, area growing. They're building more hotels, building more, as you said, mass transit, because if you go to a place like a Chicago or Atlanta, things of that nature, you're right. People take more public transit, and it's not looked upon as a bad thing as it has been here. I'm glad that, the city is actually recognizing that we need to change that narrative.
But the people not though. Yeah. And those are the people that's going to get displaced. See,
and that's the sad part about it. Exactly.
Now ain't the sad part about it. They need to keep up. They have to keep up. Because I'm gonna put it to you like this. It's just like in out in the what the wilderness, not whatever that shit is with the lions and shit. You know what I'm saying? If the younger people are not protecting your elderly, the elderly is gonna get ate by those young cubs that's coming up.
Right.
Same thing with the businesses in Indianapolis and the people, the city of Indianapolis, the residents of the city of Indianapolis. If they do not get in gear, they're gonna get displaced. I'm telling you, I saw it happen in Atlanta.
Right.
I talk about it on Yizer. When Atlanta got the bid to get the Olympics, everybody goes. They got rid of every project in the city of Atlanta. Look it up. They got rid of every project in Atlanta and any other old so-called businesses that did not want to move forward to the future. They got ran out of business.
Okay, so that brings up another point. We can go there. You in there? Yeah. I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about there are so many food deserts here. There are so many. I hate to say gentrification, but some of it is gentrification in some of the older neighborhoods.
All of it's gentrification. It's all gentrification.
But I'm trying to be a little bit positive, just a little bit. Okay.
But the thing is, I got a question for you. Where's the food desert at in Indianapolis?
Which one? There's so many. Look at let's go 38th and Arlington.
Give me a food desert.
38th and Arlington.
Oh, yeah.
They just put a market on 38th and Arlington. There's a black-owned grocery store that has just opened.
So that means it's not a food desert.
Now, but look at how many people had access to that area before they even did the red line or the purple line or blue line, all these lines that they're now doing to even get there. You have to think about a lot of people, even in that area, in the 40th, the 38th, 40th, 40, from 38th to maybe say 46 in Arlington, Emerson, Sherman, all those areas over there. That is the only grocery store they have within a 10-mile radius. When you think about it, they closed down the Old Cup Foods, which is now a school. You know,
Hold on.
we need that.
Whoa,
we need
whoa,
education.
whoa, stop.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
You proving my point. You talking about the Cub? You tell me about Cubs food. Used to be in Eastgate Mall?
No, the Cub Foods used to be right there in the Meadows.
Okay, even that one. Do you realize the construction that's happened in that area since then? The new apartments. Yes. There's an Aldi's right there in that parking lot. There's a there's so where's the food desert? That's
now there is.
There's no food desert in Indianapolis.
We're coming along. We're just going slow. We're getting there. Don't get me wrong. We are getting there.
Who's we?
We're getting there. But there's still so much more to be done. And
no.
Go ahead.
The people who refuse to get on board are the ones that are going to get displaced. Ain't no we getting along. No, y'all not getting it. So that's why I grew up off of 40th and Audubon Road, and that's why if you go from 38th and Emerson, I'm just going from 38th and Emerson to 38th and Arlington. There used to be a Burger King right there.
Yep.
Burger King can't survive there. There used to be a McDonald's right there. McDonald's couldn't survive there. There used to be a Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake couldn't survive there. The reason why, and the Family Dollar. The Family Dollar haven't even been there 10 years and it's gone. The reason why is because they are displacing all the people from the area because they're going to bulldoze that whole section of Indianapolis and they bringing in a whole nother crop of people because there's nobody, the people that live in those homes in those neighborhoods are not supporting the growth of the city financially. And so they're going to displace every last one of those people in those houses and they're going to bulldoze all them houses. And in the next 20 years, all that shit on 38th Street is going to be fucking high-rise buildings like Buckhead in Atlanta. And I'm telling you, because I watched it happen in Atlanta back in 1993 all the way up to now. I watched the skyline of 400 and the skyline of Buckhead being built. And I can remember and the same thing is happening in Indianapolis. If somebody leaves Indianapolis right now for college or the military and come back in 20 years and don't come back, they're not going to know this city because this city is growing at a rapid pace right now. And it is not waiting for the people in these neighborhoods to figure that shit out. And all the money, and hold on, not to cut you off, and the money that's coming into Indianapolis is money that's coming from other people. Like you go to Lafayette Square Mall. Lafayette Square Mall is owned by some dudes. They're not from Indianapolis. The dudes that own Worcester Square Mall, they're from Ohio. They're not from Indianapolis. So the people of Indianapolis, if y'all don't wake the fuck up, y'all get pushed the fuck out. Sorry for cussing on your show.
But there you have it. It's not that I disagree with what you're saying at all. Don't get me wrong. Again, I think these things need to be brought up and talked about and discussed as far as finding a solution to not having everybody be displaced, but still growing. It's already started, as you mentioned, right there on 38th Street, the old Meadows. They've redone those apartments how many times? Exactly.
The Meadows ain't there no more. The Meadows ain't there no more.
Exactly. And they're redoing it again.
And why wouldn't you? That's called progressive money. That's what an economy does. It's supposed to rejuvenate itself. Like for the life of me, I don't understand why would somebody have a restaurant and they open a restaurant in 1967 and 2024 is still like 1967. Why would you not reinvest? Why would you not want to advance whatever you're doing? So, and the thing about it is the people not being displaced, these people are dying off, and then their kids can't afford the houses, so they're losing the houses in taxes, or the kids are selling the houses and taking the money. So when I say displaced, what I'm saying is displaced from the point of nobody paid attention to something that's been going on around you for 30 plus years.
Okay.
You know,
You know,
I mean,
I am all for our city growing. I think we need to. I think we need to be in a forward progression for sure. Um, Especially if we're trying to compete with our major cities like our Chicago's or our Atlantas or our Texas or Houston or Austin or Dallas, any of those places. We have got to have a level of growth. Period. That means you know um, everywhere from our inner city to our suburbs. But this is my thing. This is what makes me upset about the growth. And as we both mentioned, Indianapolis has had more events this year than we have had ever. We had the Taylor Swift concert for 3 nights. We had Super Bowl not too long ago. We had just all kinds of major events. We had the playoffs. We're going to have the WNBA playoffs next year. We've had drafts here. We've had NFL Columbines here. We've had a number of different things here. This is what makes me upset about that. I'm all for bringing those things here. Bring them. It brings the city revenue. It brings this entrepreneurs money. And it's been said by entrepreneurs that they are making money that they may not make all year long in one weekend event. I'm all for that. But we've got to solve the problem of our homeless people, because instead of getting them in a bus and moving them out of downtown when the events are here, find a real solution for getting these people in housing, getting these people in places to live, getting them mental health, because a lot of that comes down to most of them suffering from some type of addiction or mental health issue, and for you to just sweep them under the rug when we have an event, that's what makes me upset. I don't like that. Let's find a real solution for having these people placed in housing, having them placed where they are actually getting help, not just because we have an event coming in town. That's my thing. Go ahead, please.
what about the ones who don't want the help?
That brings another point, because there are definitely those that do not want the help.
So what do you do with them?
You can't do anything they won't do for themselves. Unfortunately, that's the reality. That's the reality of it. You can't do anything for them they won't do for themselves, or they aren't willing to take the steps to get help on or to do. Now,
Yeah,
what I
because
say,
I know somebody in Indianapolis right now. He's a vet.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a check every month about $3,000 to $3,500 a month. He can afford an apartment, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He chooses to live outside. He lived outside to a point where 2 years ago he had got frostbite and they had to cut his feet off.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they put him in a facility when he was getting rehab. I think they cut 1 foot off completely in like a half a foot or something, like a foot and a half or something.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
I'm not laughing, but I'm just saying.
Right.
So he was in a rehab, right? But when he was in the rehab, he did not want to be in the rehab because he wanted his independence. He wanted to be able to go scrap his metal, earn his daily $20 to go buy his $20 worth of beer or whatever. And he was just as happy as he wanted to be, right? Everybody was saying, oh, he's not going to go back out to being homeless after he comes out of rehab. Don't you know that this guy trained himself, figured out a prosthetic foot and all kinds of stuff like that? And he's back out where he was before his foot got cut off, doing what he loves to do. And he has the resources and everything. He just don't want to do it. True enough, there are some people that are being displaced, but there's a lot of people that they try to help and they would put you in a facility, and then they want to either tear the facility up or they don't want to go by the rules. You can't do drugs here. You can't have sex here. You can't do whatever. And then they're like, well, fuck it. I don't want to be here. I'd rather be out in the streets because this feels like jail. I've heard them say it. Yeah. And that's the part that's disheartening. But at the same time, like, you can't help everybody. The ones who don't want to be helped, those are the ones who's doing the protest.
For sure. So, You know,
I mean,
and that's really it. You know, even in finding a solution, you are always going to overcome those obstacles. You said earlier, and it was a very true statement. You can't help everyone because not everyone wants to be helped. That's just the sad reality of it. So even in forward progression here in Indianapolis, in Austin, in Atlanta, wherever people are, we want people to go in with the mindset that you're going to make it, but the choice is still ultimately up to you. You can't say, well, I didn't make it because this person got elected president.
Right.
It doesn't matter who's in the presidency. It's up to you to do what you need to do to make your business successful.
I'm going to tell you what's so funny. I used to go to, I don't know what it is with me. I've always had an affinity for homeless people. Like, not going to them on some charity stuff, like here. Like, I give them something. I'm talking about to have a conversation, like, because they're people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would go when I was younger. It's so funny. I was in Washington, D.C. One summer in 8th grade, right? And the reason why I remember this is because it was the day Marvin Gaye got killed. And he was from DC. And so when I got to my hotel, my plane landed and I got to my hotel. When I went to my room, first thing I turned on TV, like Marvin Gaye was killed today, and that's from DC. But besides all that, I used to be in DC and I would just sit down and have a conversation with homeless people because DC had a huge homeless population, right? And I used to sit there and talk to homeless people, and that's where I learned, like, hold on for a second. You have a bachelor's degree and you're a doctor, blah, 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 blah. And they go, yeah, I like to live like this because I want to live off the grid. It used to mess me up. And that's where I learned, like, yes, there are some people that are homeless and stuff like that because of something bad happened. But the world and society shows us that there's people that's homeless because they want to live that life. It blew my mind. And so it's the thing is, treat them like humans. Go talk to these people and find out. Don't just diagnose somebody like, oh, they're a throwaway. No, nobody's a throwaway. Just go down there and have a conversation. And if you can help them, help them. And then there's going to be some that you can lose your, like a drug addict. You ever dealt with a drug addict before?
I have.
Mm-hmm. And when you deal with a drug addict, I don't care what you do for them, that roller coaster does not end until they decide that they don't want to be a drug addict anymore.
Exactly. And it could be a number of different choices of drugs. It doesn't have to be just crack or just cocaine or just alcohol, or there could be a number of different addictions they could have. We did have a question. I'm gonna grab this question from the comments. Do you all think that laws should be created for the ones who don't want help to be forced to get help? Do you think that will work?
No, that's why they're throwing them in jail. That's why no.
So thank you for the question, Natasha. Hi, thank you for that. Kenneth has also been making several comments here. So thank you, Kenneth, also for your support and encouragement there, and also your statements as well. He is also a Navy man. So thank you again for chiming in.
He is a Marine.
Oh, that's right. He's a Marine, my fault. You know, it's so many of y'all around me. You know, it's just all kind of, you know. So
he's still my brother though.
That's
Marines
right.
and Navy, we brothers.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And my son's in the Army, and then you know, hey, you know, and then Kyle, who's also one of my bros, is actually a Marine also. No, Navy.
He was in Navy too.
Navy. I gotta get it right. I'm getting it right. Okay, there we go. So thank you all for your service. First of all, let me just say that. Thank you all for your service, male, female, indifferent. I appreciate you for fighting for a country that I live in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That part. So if you have just tuned in or if you have just come aboard, this is Let's Talk About It, a weekly podcast with myself, host RenaeThaDiva. We do have with us Mr. Dwayne Abernathy of Yizer Media, and we have been discussing an array of things, including Yizer and what Yizer kind of stands for, fundraisers that he does for veterans, including Legacy Honor Briggs. You also can go to YizerTV.com, YizerRadio.com, code 1035.com. To and also shop Yizer, right? ShopYizer.com to actually participate in his veterans fundraiser. I think I got all the.
There's a whole lot of .coms.
I know. It was a lot.
All you gotta do is say one.com. Go to code1035.com. You get all that.
There you go. Code1035.com.
One website.
and it's a one-stop shop. There you go. There you go. Well, I was trying to make awareness, brand awareness. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just one brand is all you need to make it in this world.
There you go. And we are our own brand. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Have you been somewhere in public, like in an office setting, and you sneezed, and the person sitting next to you, and could you hand me a Kleenex?
Mm-hmm.
It's right. That's branding.
It is, because it's tissue paper.
It's a tissue, right?
Kleenex
exactly.
Is the most recognized brand of all of the tissue paper.
Exactly.
You got it. So again, I appreciate you sharing your creative property with us here tonight on Let's Talk About It. And thank you for all that you do and all that you've done. Kenneth is laughing. I know. Kenneth,
what Mr. Brown laughing about?
I think he was laughing at me when we were talking about, getting all of the different cores correct. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Well, count to my head, not to my heart. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. This was actually fun.
It is. See, I'm so glad to bring you on this side of the camera. I know you do a lot behind the scenes. People don't realize how much you do. You do a whole lot behind the scenes, from producing to creating to directing. And I look forward to seeing all that comes from Mr. Dwayne Abernathy and Yizer Media. All right, well, we'll go ahead and end tonight's show. Well, thank you again for joining. Please like, share, and follow RenaeThaDiva and Legacy Entertainment Studios. Again, go to code1035.com and you can take part and participate in all of Yizer's different platforms, okay? Shout out to Mr. Kenneth Brown of KB Renaissance and SEDM and all that he has going on as well. Thank you, Kenneth, for your continued support. Shout out to Con Mori of BUGPS.com. Thank you for all that you do, bro. And I wish you continued healing on your shoulder surgery. Shout out to Mr. Gregory Merriweather, who we will have on here in the future and interview him as well. So I will say good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.